Welcome to this week's MyStream update. Today we talk to Andrew Winnett, our lead investor. Why did Andrew invest and where does he see this company going? Welcome everybody to today's MyStream update. And today's a really special one because we have with us today our lead investor for MyStream, Mr. Andrew Winnett. Thanks so much for joining us today, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm excellent. Great to be here.
So, funny thing happened a couple weeks ago. So what you guys don't know is Andrew is actually a friend of mine. We used to live in the same state, and I've done some work for his company. But he's moved away to Tennessee for a few years, and we haven't seen each other in quite a long time. And those who have investors in MyStream or who have seen MyStream on Facebook have seen this ad of me crashing my mountain bike into a tree and another jump, and I actually really did crash into that tree, and I actually did hurt myself in that ad. But Andrew called me.
That's how committed you are.
That's how I think I'm not actually 47, but a little younger than that. But Andrew called me up and said, "Dude, I saw your commercial," and he goes, "You got to talk to me about MyStream." And so we did talk a little while, and then Andrew had some pretty awesome insights and vision of the company. So Andrew, I just want to ask you, what was your initial thought when you heard about MyStream's concept?
Well, I would say that it was twofold. I would say that number one, I'm like, it made a lot of sense. And I was actually surprised that no one had endeavored to create this type of company. There's certain things that we've all probably had, these ideas in our lifetime where like, oh, that would really solve a big problem. And then, we never do anything with it. And then you fast forward 5 years later and you see it, at Walmart or something. You're like, I totally thought about that, And so for me, I'm like, this is brilliant. And it was almost not like a fear, but it was such a big, there's that old saying, life comes down to a handful of moments, right? And I started getting that feeling like, kind of the hair on the back of your neck. Like, what if this is the next big thing? And I could get in on this prior to it going massively big and, prior to the IPO. What if this was the next Netflix? What if this was the next Amazon Prime or even bigger? I'd be foolish not to investigate further. You got to stay curious. The people who make the most amount of money, have the most influence, are on the Forbes 100 list. They stay curious. So when I saw that and I was researching, I'm like, holy crud, this could be huge. And it compelled me to reach out to you and find out more. That was the first, kind of thought process. The second process was, well, what if this is the future and I just kind of brushed it away, brushed it under the rug? It's not that, this will probably fail. This is like every other startup company. I've had a startup company that failed. It's super painful, lost a lot of money, learned a lot of lessons. Maybe this is just, something that's going to fail as well. And why even bother, getting my hopes up, for some investment that I'll probably end up losing. And so that was the other thought process that I had. And that's why I was like, well, man, can you imagine if I was right there at the beginning of Netflix, I passed on it, it went massive, and then I'd be living with regret my whole life. I mean, you've all heard the stories of people who could have gotten into crypto when it was 1/100th of 1 penny. And, they tell that story every day for the last 20 years of the regret. So I'm like, I don't want to live with regret. So I had to investigate further, which is why I called you.
So I had failed to actually give our viewers a background on who you are. So you have a sign behind you. You have a company. Is it? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah. So my company is Legacy Builders Wealth Management. We're actually about to change our name to Retirement Renegade. But we actually have you like that?
That's right.
We have probably the nation's #1 safe money retirement planning firm. We focus on women primarily from ages 55 to 75, and we don't lose their money and we don't charge advisor fees. So we're a very unique company, but we're in the safe retirement planning space.
Okay.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's a little bit of a shift from previous businesses. That's really great to hear that progress. So you said something to me on the call, which made me realize that you got it. You really comprehended what this could be. And you said to me a phrase on the phone after I got done explaining what this was about. Do you remember what that was?
I don't.
It was like, there's nothing, you said something, there's nothing bigger than this out there.
Well, I know that media is probably one of the most powerful tools, if not the most powerful tool, for influencing people's decisions and how they view life. I believe that everybody's made up of mind, soul, and spirit. And I'm not going to get all weird and philosophical on you, but the soul, your mind, will, and emotions is very influenced by what you see and what you hear and what you taste, your senses, right? Like, for example, I'm actually a producer of a Hollywood film in the retirement world, and it's one of the best marketing avenues we've ever pursued because it's using media to tell a story and persuade. And so I know how powerful a good movie can be or a good TV show. And then to be able to control all of them, you're dealing with prime real estate, the most coveted territory of any sort of influencer, leader, organization. I mean, if you could be able to house and control all of the content in one place, I mean, I don't know of a company that's bigger, stronger, or more powerful. So yes.
Yeah, and right now, well said, Andrew. And right now, I think there's multiple reasons why people would become involved or either subscribe to or invest in MyStream. And I think for a while, our initial reason for this company, I have two main reasons. I think the primary is end the frustration of dude, where in the world? Like my family have gotten to the point now where we don't even bother looking for a movie anymore. We don't bother looking for a show. It's too much effort to figure out where we're going to go and what to watch and weeding through what all these companies want us to watch. And we're trying to give the control back to the people. Really good AI, which knows what you want to watch instead of pushing their latest content out to you.
Sure.
And the second thing is something John calls named boundaries. And I should let somebody else talk now because I talk a lot. So, John, do you want to talk briefly about boundaries?
Sure. We all have boundaries, and we have no power at present to really control that in media. There's no AI, artificial intelligence powered resource that gives the viewer the ability to dial in just what their limits are of language, of the amount of skin they see, or sexual relations,
Violence.
Violence. Those big five areas. So this boundaries is software newly introduced that gives the viewer that muscle, so they can dial it in, and they have the power. We all have the legal right to dial in the boundaries that we want. All we need is the software, and that's one thing that comes with MyStream.
Yeah.
John, one of the questions I always get is, are you telling us that movies that are maybe PG-13 or R-rated are just excluded? I don't see those, and I only get the PG and under movies, or does it actually affect? Can I watch the R-rated movie and it somehow filters things?
No, we just filter all those movies out.
Stop it, John.
No, you know the answer to that, Jay.
Yeah, I do.
The answer is you get to watch pretty much anything you want. Mean-spirited films are still going to be mean-spirited films, bad attitudes, and some are really highly entertaining. So if you want to watch them without the naughty bits, without the elements that you really don't want in your home or on your screen, then this is for you.
Yeah.
For the first time, it gives you that power. Even a live show, that's something that's being aired as you as you go, where sometimes newscasters or late night people or whatever say, "Oh, we shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, if I may interrupt for 1 second, I got to ask Andrew a question about this. Can't right now, up until this moment, the only option for doing anything about the stuff that comes in is grabbing this thing and hitting the red button or changing the channel. Andrew, you have a family, don't you?
I do. I have 4 kids.
Do you think this type of a feature, this type of technology would be useful in your house?
Massive. We're using a platform that I just found out was illegal to do the same type of thing, not quite as sophisticated, but it probably won't be around for forever. But we're trying to do that very thing. We've been trying to solve that problem for a long time.
Yeah. Nobody seems to care to solve it, but there's millions of families out there who want this problem solved.
Yeah, and I would say, even more. I would say the bigger problem is the ease of use. I cannot tell you how many nights, Jess and I were scrolling through, like what you said, what they want us to watch. Can't find anything. It's taken 30 minutes. We go from Amazon Prime. Oh, there's nothing here. We spent 15 minutes there. Then we go to Hulu. There's nothing there. Then we go to Peacock. And before you know it, we just go to our usual show that we are kind of bored of, but we know it's predictable, it's clean or whatever. And it's frustrating because we can't seem to, there's too many options almost, and we're not finding what we want to watch. We're not finding anything new and exciting that fits our flavor profile, if you would. So I'm really looking forward to the ease of use. I like the idea of having it all in one spot and not having to subscribe. And then on my Roku TV, I'm trying to put in my email and then my card number and then create a password. And it takes 20 minutes and I'm ready to chuck the remote through the TV screen because I'm so frustrated. I just want it all to be done with. Why haven't we solved this problem yet?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that big time.
Yeah. I think you of all people, Andrew, are one of the people who, when you watch the promo, you talk to us briefly, you got it 100%. You caught the whole vision. You have the same exact questions as everybody else has. Like, how are you going to get the big guys to come on? And we'll we can cover that in separate videos with our CEOs. We actually have 2 CEOs that are not on the call, which we've talked about quite extensively with on other platforms, which our own investors here on WeFunder need to learn about. And we're going to actually get some calls with those guys on as well. So, but Andrew, I wanted to thank you for joining us today in this call. Any final words that you would give to those who are on the fence about joining the family of MyStream?
Well, here's how I look at it. You never get a second chance at a really good opportunity. And I am really confident that I invested a decent amount, more than I have probably ever invested in one single thing in my own life. That is not guaranteed. But I'm okay with that decision because if it fails, right, which I wouldn't have done it unless I believed it would succeed. But if it failed, because it's not guaranteed to succeed, I didn't invest more than I was willing to lose. And that's that, kind of the risk tolerance that everybody has. I would encourage people, listen, if you don't have $25,000 or $50,000 to invest, what about $500? What about $100? Like something that you can afford to lose. And if it fails, it fails. But if it doesn't fail, I mean, if you invested in Netflix, if you invested $10,000 in Netflix pre-IPO, today it would be worth over $5 million. So 10,000 going to 5 million. This is pre-IPO. Right now, this is light years before IPO. So it will have a massive multiple prior to IPO. Mm-hmm. So we're dealing with some massive upside. I think everybody should park a little bit of money that they'd be willing to lose and be okay with it. This is not a CD at your bank, but what do you have to lose, right? With high risk comes high reward, and I think that this is solving a massive problem, and somebody's going to figure this thing out. Why shouldn't it be you?
You're 100% right. There is a 100% chance that somebody is going to pull this off in the
Yes.
next, well, hopefully before a decade. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer people can stand this, you know.
Yeah.
And Andrew mentioned just now, investing $500. I just wanted to let people know that for the first bit we had the WeFunder open, we were missing our $1,000 perk graphic. It didn't show up. It was there, but didn't show up. And the $1,000 perk graphic is actually the most valuable one we have. It's actually the value of what you get as far as like the subscription into MyStream is actually valued higher than the actual investment. So just take a look at that on WeFunder again. Take a look at the perk levels, the number 3 perk at the $1,000 level. Study that a bit, and if you only invested 100 or 500, just take a look at that and see if it might pique your interest to go up to $1,000. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us today. It's been awesome. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm excited for the ride to the moon.
We're on our way.
All right. Have a great day, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.